Hello, 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 hello. This is Himyo, and welcome to the Human Experience. This is Compassion in Action, live, funky, fresh, and in the flesh. So, I would like to thank you, first of all, for taking time out of your day to watch this human experience where you will have the opportunity to hear someone express the compassion that resides within them, and you, as the viewer, will get an opportunity to experience said compassion in person. And so, this wonderful week, what we have going on here is I have the great pleasure of having a guest, someone that I grew up with from Piscataway, New Jersey. And I will have to answer the call because this is the person calling in right now. What's up? What's up, Bashawn? Oh, hey. So we will be so as things go around and go around, that was actually not the person. That was somebody else. And I need to put my phone on vibrate because right now, the only thing on my mind is you, and wanting to be able to be in a full place and space to be able to give you gems, jewels, and life thriving lessons that will allow you to be the best you that you can possibly be. And I've had a I've had a weekend in the life um, that has been pretty great. You know, there's been obstacles abound. This weekend, especially this Saturday, um, I was able to learn that I matter. And the reason I say that is because, you know, when we go through life and there's these ups and these downs and they're all around, you know, there's tends, well, for me anyway, I tend to not have a positive self-image, you know. When I sit there and I stay in my head and I start to see what my life is like and what is going on within it, and um, I really have to fight. I have to fight every second to be able to understand that I am a person of value and that I do have something to offer the world. And it's a battle. It is one hell of a battle, but it's one that I am committed to win. And what I was able to learn this weekend is I've been taking this transformational educational course um, called the Landmark Forum, and I'm in the third piece of the curriculum for living, and so Saturday we spent this whole workday with this awesome community of individuals that um, that I was able to share the life affirming effects of. Excuse me, yo, what's up, Bashawn?
You ain't see me calling on the
Not on the computer. I'm actually recording live right now. Waiting for, and the world is just waiting to see your face, good brother.
so
Um,
you gonna have to I guess send me the link back
all right.
or call me so I can answer something.
Okay, so I'm about to send you the link once again right now. Um, and you should have that to you in three, two, one. Bam. Link has been sent and the invitation has been posted. And hopefully, the world will be able to get to see how you express your compassionate actions in this world in less than, I would say, less than 2 minutes, you know? Um, and see, this is what life is. This is live, full in the flesh. And you know, no matter what curveballs are thrown at you in life, you just have to be able to swing. for the fences and make sure you hit home runs. And see, so like, even though this is being recorded live and we're in zoning and you want to get things, you know, everything wants to be perfect, right? We have this idea in this world that, you know, that everything has to be perfect. But it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be dynamic. And so regardless of what life is ever throwing at you, the possibility of being dynamic is always present, because that means that you will add the power to get through any situation that presents in your life. And when you finally get on, and the world is going to be able to get to hear and see how you have been a dynamic individual in your life and have gotten through and powered through the obstacles that you are now using as opportunities, is one of the main reasons why I wanted to be able to have the world see you, you know, and be able to get to did you get the link? Did it get to you? No, the link didn't go through. I mean, I just invited you again. I'll try to send it one. BASHAUNBROWN@gmail.com. And so you got to check your it should come into your to your email. So yeah, and so boom. All right, awesome. And so we actually do have somebody out there that is viewing with us right now. Hello, hi, how are you? Whoever you are, thank you for joining the Human Experience. And you are about to have a treat, because you're about to meet a social entrepreneur who has a life experience that is one of triumph, one of action, one of being able to use past experiences and flip the street to the boardroom, you know. So going from the boardroom of the corners to the boardroom of the trap house in a dynamic way that individuals are being able to use the skills that they learned while they was trapping and hustling to be able to apply that in a real world business acumen sense. And so, Bashaun, we are here live. I think I see your mic. I don't see your face yet. Don't know if the world is able to hear you as of yet. Oh, boom. You can hear you. I can see you now. Let's hang up the phone and let's see if we can hear your voice. All right, awesome.
Can you hear me though?
Yes, we can hear you. If you happen to have a pair of headphones though, it would be awesome to use that so we can hear you in an even clearer way. So this is what it is. This is what it is. This is how it is. Testing. If you talk once again and to be able to hear that, now that we
having all types of technical difficulties.
I can hear you. I can hear you. So you all good. But it's not about the types of technical difficulties. It's about how we about to power through this technical difficulties and show the world that, you know, once you have your mind made up and there is a goal that you need to accomplish and that you want to accomplish in your world, stopping at nothing to getting it done, you know, and that's what this is all. This is what it's all about, you know. And so, yo, for sure.
What's up? All right, I think we in the building now, man.
Yeah. We all good. We all good in the hood. Welcome, good brother.
Yes.
I would like to say that I remember 2 times, like, so we grew up together in Piscataway, New Jersey, from youngins, and I remember 2 times in my life specifically that you opened my eyes and enlightened me to something. Number one was a time when we was in high school, and I had these purple pair of jeans that my mom had bought me from Macy's, right? And they was kind of expensive, but I just knew I liked them because they was purple, blah blah blah. And I remember I was walking down the hall, I was getting my Diddy Bop on down the hall, and Bashar was like, "Hey yo, I see you in them Jabot jeans, him yo." I was like, "Oh, word, yo." Honestly, I didn't even know how to pronounce the name on those jeans. I didn't even realize what it was I was rocking at the time. You know what I mean? And you put me onto that.
Never knew that.
Yeah, bro. And then another time that I remember specifically that you were instrumental in my life is there was a basketball game going on, and I was sitting in the bleachers, and I was sitting in the bleachers, and there was people around me, and all of a sudden, I started getting into a tussling match. You know what I'm saying? There was people, you know, manning up, and I was getting the elbow, and I was elbowing back, and it was a dude from the hood known for getting it in, you know, and putting work in. And I remember Bashawn, I remember you stepped up, you tried to break it up, but I was like, yo, you know what? If we got to go outside and we got to go handle this, then that's what it's gonna have to be, you know. And I remember you speaking to Terrell, trying to calm him down and whatever. But then, you know, I also remember you stepping up and being like, all right, well, if the business got to be handled, then I'm gonna make sure that this is handled and it's between y'all, and there ain't gonna be no, you know, it was gonna be a fair one. It didn't go down because my mom started wilding out, but I remember you stepping up at that time for me, brother, and I really appreciate that, good brother.
I'm glad it ain't got down. You know, we about peace and brotherhood, man.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, enough about me talking about you. I'm gonna let you do the talking now. So please let the world know who you are, what it is that you've been through, and then we'll just start from there.
All right. Well, obviously, my name is Bashawn Brown. Was born in Plainfield, New Jersey. Moved to Piscataway, New Jersey in around 6th grade. Probably met Hemio, the man that's in charge of this human experience that we're about to be involved with, in probably about the 7th grade. Let me say a little something about yourself. You always been your own person, right? You always been a leader and not a follower. And I really when I really know that you didn't care about what the world thought about you and that you was going to be on your own path, is one time I came back to Piscataway, and this must have been like maybe 2003, 2004, something like that. And we was at a Super Bowl party in South Plainfield. You know, I haven't seen brothers in a while, and I seen you. And you know, you must have been auditioning for a play or something. I was in the play. You know, and,
oh man.
And you know, you had all types of modifications going on with your physical appearance and all that. You know, I was like, you know what, man? I like my boy, man. My boy gonna do what he got to do to get where he want. He ain't gonna care what anybody have to say about him, you know. But like you said, enough about you. They probably know a lot about you. But so I grew up in Piscataway. Always had my ties to Plainfield, and so I always lived with this duality, right? Like, so my friends in Piscataway, pretty much on the right path for the most part. Headed to college, most of them, and you know, good people. And my friends back in Plainfield, most of them was in the streets, right? So when I moved to Piscataway, I tried to get on that school path, and I managed to get into Morehouse College in 1997, and after my second semester, I ended up leaving Morehouse because I couldn't afford it. I ended up with like a $1,200 bill after financial aid, after my grandmother charged $5,000 on the credit card, after all these loans and everything. I ended up still owing money. So when I came back home, I told myself that, you know, I will hustle to get my way back into college. Meaning, I'll start selling drugs to finance my way through college. So, that was one bad choice that led to a series of other bad choices. Needless to say, I ended up hustling on and off for about 10 years. And in 2009, during my hustling times, I had got fronted a lot of product from a connect, and I messed the money up. You know what I mean? I didn't have the ability to pay what he had given me.
You wasn't following Biggie's 10 crack commandments, huh?
Definitely wasn't following the 10 crack commandments. I mean, I was giving out credit, and all types of other activities. You know what I mean? And just messed the money up. So I had to pay him. And so I started committing robberies to try to get the money up. In May of 2009, I was arrested after robbing the bank. And when they caught me for that robbery, they told me I fit the description of another robbery. And I ended up getting charged with 2 counts of robbery in the first degree and sentenced to 12 years suspended after 7.5, and in Connecticut. So, when I got to prison, I knew I had one choice or 2 choices. Either I was going to wild out or I was going to get right. You know what I mean? So either I was going to get with the bullshit or I was going to take this path and try to redeem myself, try to autocorrect, try to educate myself. So luckily, I chose the path of education. I started reading everything I could get my hands on. So, I started reading some Buddhism, which really helped me do some healing at my core. Through meditating and things like that. I was able to detach from the guilt. You know what I mean? And came to the understanding that desire was the root to all suffering. So, try to learn how to quench my desires, for things, you know what I mean? Because, we live in a capitalistic, consumeristic, hedonistic society, right? Where you're judged by the objects you possess.
Correct.
Right? So a lot of times we desire objects, and some of us will go to extremes to obtain these objects because we feel that this is who we are, right? So you no longer Hemio, you Hemio with the Lexus, right? Yeah. Or Hemio with the bling, Hemio with the big house, right? So these objects somehow speak for us, right? So I learned how to kind of detach from that, right? And I also came across the autobiography of Malcolm X, and started reading about Malcolm Little and how he, how he ran the streets and ended up doing 7 years in prison as well, and went back and helped transform his community, right? So while I'm reading this book, I see a lot of similarities to our story. And I said to myself, man, if this one man can have such a impact on his community after living the type of life he lived, I could do the same thing. So I just try to stay educating myself. And fortunately, I had gotten to a program called Wesleyan Center for Prison Education. Wesleyan University offered college courses to incarcerated inmates in Cheshire, Connecticut. So they bring a quality liberal arts education to Cheshire. So once I started really getting back on studying and things like that, then I had this paradigm shift where I just looked at the world differently. You know what I mean? And the result is, I said to myself, I'm gonna find a way to be the solution in my community and not the problem.
Mm.
You know, so around that time, I'm studying economics and things like that. I came across a term called social enterprise,
Mm-hmm.
which basically is about businesses that mission is to give back to the community. You know, not just seek profits, right? They're not just trying to maximize profits, but they're trying to maximize public good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, do for your community and make money at the same time. You know, so while I was doing this, I started pitching a few ideas to some people that was around me, other inmates, and I found it interesting that after I would pitch them about an idea, a couple days later, they'll come up with an idea and try to pitch me. Like, yo, what about this? You know what I mean?
So y'all were actually, so if I'm hearing you correctly, while you were in prison, what it was that you were doing is that y'all were working on y'all pitching skills to about business ideas. So you were working on your business acumen while in prison, using it to empower one another of how you could come up with entrepreneurial ideas to do once you got home.
Absolutely. You know, while I was in prison, I stayed in tune, right? So I had, you know, subscriptions to the Inc. magazine, Fast Company, you know, things like that. You know, I stayed constantly trying to be in tune on what's going on in the business world. Mm-hmm. At the same time, I was receiving a quality liberal arts education. Mm. Right. So this is how these two things were coming together, right? This entrepreneurship and me being social minded was festering together. You know what I mean? You had this cross pollination of these worlds, and out of me studying business and studying or having a liberal arts education, you know, I decided to become a social entrepreneur. And out of that decision, Trap House was born.
Trap House, get up out my Trap House. Word. Yeah. And so, if I'm not mistaken, is Trap House an acronym for something?
Yeah, so Trap House is an acronym for transforming, reinventing, and prospering. And what Trap House does is it works in communities with high rates of drug activity, get people to recognize their entrepreneurial spirit so they can redirect it in the formal market. So Trap House is a business incubator that teaches drug dealers how to become legal entrepreneurs. And we're actually launching out of Hartford this spring. We had a meeting last Wednesday with the mayor of Hartford. He gave us the stamp of approval to operate out of the north end of Hartford. The north end of Hartford was recently designated a promise zone, which means that they have access to federal resources to try to build up their community. So the north end of Hartford is one of the poorest communities in the United States in one of the richest states. Right. So you know, it's in Hartford, which is the capital city of Connecticut, you know, which is one of the richest states in the United States. So you have this disparity, you know what I mean, where you have this proximity of extremes, right? You got extreme wealth on one hand, then you got extreme poverty on the other hand. And you know, and so the north end is like the ideal place to test the model, right? Ideal place to pilot Trap House. Let's see, you know, it's time to take it off of paper and into action and really trying to start doing the work and actually starting businesses with people that used to hustle.
Yo, number one, brother, I would like to commend you. Number one, for choosing and even understanding that you do have a choice. Although you may have been put in a box and put in a situation, you still found that there were choices for you to be able to make that situation a more fruitful occurrence once you got out. So what you literally did was you took an obstacle that was put before you, and you use that obstacle as an opportunity, you know. And sometimes it's just that it is just that, you know. People will always only they can make the choice to continue seeing it as an obstacle, or they can do such as yourself and use it as an opportunity, you know. And another reason why I wanted to be able to speak with you today, brother, is because you're an example, and there's a few other people that I know in my life personally that I know have gone to prison and have been in the system and then come out on the other side winners, you know. And so when I hear that mentality of individuals that say, oh, I've been in the system, I'm a number now, I can't get out of my situation, I don't believe them. I think it's BS, because I have 4 examples in my life personally that I know that I could go to that have been through the same thing that you have and have turned it around, you know. So that's thank you so much for being that individual that is going to be able to speak to a specific population of people and be like, hey, bro, while I was locked up, I was doing XYZ. So I know, you know, there was things that we still had to go through day to day just to survive. But through your survival, you were able to think about thriving, going from surviving to thriving while you were there. And so what that's, oh, go ahead.
It's something that was key, man. Like, I don't see problems in life, right? I only see opportunities, right? So it's all about your perspective. Right? So, like, when you see a hurdle, you know, yeah, you could look at it as a roadblock, or you could look at it as a way that you're gonna find a way to jump higher. Right? If you got to go back and do some squats, you know what I mean? If you got to get a ladder, you're gonna find a way to get over that hurdle, right? So there's no problems in life. There's only opportunities.
Word. Yo, and then so with that being said, I would like to ask you the first question in this human experience, which is, what is it that you trust more, your heart or your brain?
Wow. Oh, man. You know what, man? My heart or my brain? I don't know. I don't know if I trust either one of them more. Right? Because you know, I've been wrong in both places, right? Like, so I've made some choices with my heart and been wrong. I've made some choices with my brain and been wrong. But when it's not either or and they're both in that place, when I'm making the choice with my heart and my brain, then I know that's the choice that I need to make. I trust my heart and my brain when they're working in tandem.
When they're working in tandem.
You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. That's peace. That's peace. And I'm just gonna run into it because I'm gonna get into the second question. Oh, I'm gonna run into it. I'm gonna get into the second question, which is it better to have beauty?
Somehow you
I'm breaking up. You can't hear me anymore?
Is that on this side?
You can't hear me? Hello? Hello? I see my mic is registering. So
1 second, Emil.
We gotta get this right. Get up out my trap, pal. So as we work to get Bashawn's conversation continuing and flowing and going, it is just so imperative to know that you back? You good? You good? Can you hear me now? All right, awesome. Good to know. Good to know. Good to go. What I was just letting the audience know is that is continuing to look for the little ways that you can make adjustments within your life. And I like the way you said using your brain and your heart in tandem. You know, I think is a very influential thing, because I look at it as, you know, think with your heart and act with your brain. you know. And so when you're moving in that direction, then the thoughts that you have are going to be one of source and completion that the creator has within you, you know, because you don't, when you're dead is when your heart stops beating,
Right.
know? And so that's why I ask people those questions. And then my next question for you would be, what is it better to have beauty or be beautiful?
Is it better to have beauty or to be beautiful?
Correct.
Wow. I think it's better to be beautiful, right? I don't know how you I mean, because if you have beauty and are not beautiful, then that beauty doesn't come from within you, right? But when you are beautiful, then you know that beauty is coming from a place that's in you, right? And it's not necessarily physical beauty, right? But sometimes your spirit can be aesthetically appealing, right? Like you could put this aura around yourself that starts from within, that'll make everything in nature recognize that you're beautiful.
There you go. That's what it's all about. And so, you know, nature, beauty, and the resonance. I like when you said the effervescence of your aura and it being beautiful. That's some poetic stuff there, brother. So what I would like to know is, when was the last time you cried, bro?
Oh, it's been a minute. But I think the last time I cried, I had found out that my kids was getting put on the street while I was in prison, or that they had went through like a situation where they might have they were homeless for a second. And you know, the powerlessness that I felt at that moment, it was just immensely real, right? Like you know, children don't ask to come into this world, and you know, you're supposed to do whatever you have to do to protect them as a parent. So I think that's when I kind of really recognized the full extent of my choices. You know, when I was unable to help my children while they were going through a situation like that. You know, so I cried when I found that out. Yeah.
Okay. And on a
Crying
light,
is good. I wish I could cry more often.
so what do you think is the blocker for you not crying, or for you not? What do you think is in the way of you not being able to express yourself in that manner by letting out those tears, whether they be of pain or joy? Where
I think it's like I think it's my worldview and like the path that I walk, right? So I try to avoid these extremes, right? So I try to avoid being extremely happy or extremely sad. Just try to stay in the middle, walk this middle path. And I think by, you know, getting myself to walk this middle path, you know, it prevents me from emotional fluctuating emotionally. So I never could kind of get to that point. So, you know, I don't know. I assume that's the reason, or maybe, you know, I just haven't had any experiences that kind of make me want to cry lately. Yeah.
Okay. Word. Well, I think you getting this trap house thing off the ground is a great reason to cry and express those tears of joy, good brother. Because what you're doing in that respect and in that regard is phenomenal. Dealing with the whole recidivism issue, which we will touch upon again. So, pregunta número 4.
Yeah.
What are 3 words you feel you should know in every language?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Does that count as two?
Nah, that's just one. We'll take that as one.
Thank you. Love and peace.
Thank you, love, and peace. That's dope. That's dope. And so when you are saying, if you're in one of these countries and you're saying thank you, love, and peace, um, and even deeper than that, what scares you, brother?
What scares me? Being homeless scares me. Right? Like, it's real out here in this world, right? You're not always guaranteed a job. You're not always guaranteed that whatever you're doing is successful. So you just never know when you might fall on hard times, And so that's something that scares me, like not having a place to call home. That scares me.
That's pretty. That's a very real statement, and I can. That touches me at this particular moment because I am homeless, bro.
Yeah.
And in a very real way, yes, I don't have keys that are my own.
Yeah. We gotta figure that out, bro.
Oh yeah, for sure. and this is all part of it. But you see, when we were talking about earlier about choices,
yeah,
I have particularly chosen a path that is definitely off the beaten. So it's not that I don't want to get or don't have the ability or the skills to get a 9 to 5, a regular 9 to 5, or within the social work field.
Right, because you graduated, right, from Clark Atlanta?
Correct.
With a degree.
With a degree, yes. And so I have chosen to dedicate my life to inspiring people to be the happiest they can possibly be and being a social entrepreneur, such as yourself. Yeah. And so I have made choices not to get a particular regular 9 to 5. And because of the results of the choice that I've made, I have to also accept the responsibilities that go along with those choices. And at this moment, this happens to be this. That's why I can't be upset or mad at myself or scared. But what I have learned in making this particular choice is because my only desire in life is to inspire people to be the happiest that they can possibly be. And as I am living in that place, in that space, and I see the abundance that life has been able to afford me, because although I am homeless, I'm not hopeless. Evidence is you see me in a particular home right now being able to record this because of the level of abundance that life has afforded me to have good people in life, in my life, in various areas, And so when I have been down, there have been other people within my life that have been there to help me, to help lift me up, And so what I call that is the monk life, mindfully observing nature's kindness. And so that's I'm living the monk life right now, because at the end of the day, I'd rather be traveling around touching people in front of me, just like monks used to do, so it's a particular choice. And so with that, I think that actually is a great segue into the next question of what makes you happy?
What makes me like happy or joyful? What makes me happy? Like
What makes you happy?
a sustained happiness.
That's on you to answer. That's your compassionate expression.
Order.
Mm.
Order makes me happy. Right.
Elaborate on that.
When things are in their place.
Mm.
Right. Where everything is everything has a place that it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All right. So that's mentally, things have a place that it should be. Physically, things have places that they should be. So when things are in order mentally and physically, then I'm happy, right? So like right now, my room is a mess. I've been running like crazy, and just really haven't dedicated the time to just put everything in its place, right? So that's kind of speaking to me like where I'm at, right? Mentally, I'm all over the place, right? So I got a lot of things going on. I've been applying for schools, for colleges, getting Trap House off the ground, and and just living, right? So things are out of order, but I know it can't last, right? Like so, mentally, I gotta do mental feng shui, right? Gotta push some things here, push some things there, right? Like things gotta be orderly for me to think straight and reach my highest potential. And for that to happen, things physically have to be in a place too. So what makes me happy is order in that capacity.
And that's peace. And I would actually add one last thing to that, which is spiritually, because when you have things in order spiritually, mentally, and physically, there is no stopping your trajectory, because
Right.
that's what life is about. When you have those three things in order, then you are living you'll have a happy life.
That's the Trinity, right?
That's yes, they will say that in some faiths. They will say that is the Holy Trinity, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure, it is definitely in mine.
Absolutely.
And so the last question that I have for you, good brother, is what is your purpose?
Man, my purpose is to unite a separated people, like communities that's been marginalized and separated either from each other or the mainstream, or separated from justice, equality, freedom. My purpose is to unite people, right, and unite people to somehow improve on their lived experience, right. So, although I'm starting Trap House with a specific population in mind, cities and communities that's been ridden by drugs and drug violence. My ultimate goal is to unite people of color, right, and people across the Black diaspora that are separated by language and by skin color, and old colonialism. So I want to somehow get my Garvey on, ultimate. And unite people, Black people across the world, anywhere them slave ships landed, and Black people migrated to or not migrated to, got forced to, in those fetters. I'm going to somehow unite us to do business together and to help each other heal, right? So, I see like some type of trade agreement between Black Americans, Caribbeans, Black Caribbeans, across the world, Africans, Black people everywhere, man. So that's my ultimate my ultimate goal. But that's something that you can't really put out there like that, right? Because
you just did, my friend. You just did. But hey, way to be. No, there's no reason to be unapologetic about that. You know.
Yeah, no, but you know, I figure we talking to a certain audience. You know what I mean? These people that understand the human experience and understand the suffering that people of color have went through for a long time, and they could probably appreciate somebody trying to reverse that suffering. Yeah, so ultimately, I'm gonna get my Garvey on.
Hey, and that's peace, love, and unity right up in there. That's like I am of a similar mindset. You know, I am about my people and the diaspora, and I truly feel that when we as a people heal, the world will heal. You know, because we have that sense and that sorrow and that hurt that is permeating. And since we were spread throughout this world, you know, from hurt, that is why the world is hurting, or one of the reasons that the world is hurting. And you know, to be unapologetic about that does not mean that because I want my people to heal and I want to be here for my people, does not mean that the larger context of the peoples of the world, because it all came from one. You know, we all bleed and think and want the same thing, which is happiness. And so through my saying and through our saying of we want our people to heal, that is not a mutually exclusive thing. You know, that is an inclusive thing, you know. And so, you know, so we shouldn't be made to feel or even think about that we can't say that we can't say it with our chest. You know what I'm saying? We can say that with our chest and still I love my people and I love all people at the same time. You know?
That's right.
And so that's really what it's about. And brother, we have come to the end of the human experience, and I would love to give you the opportunity to let the world know your last bit of expression. Like how can the world and how can the people reach out to you? What is the numbers? What is the website? What is the Facebook and all of that to get to Bashawn Brown and the Trap House?
Right. You can reach me at Bashawn Brown. That's BASHAUN Brown at gmail.com. You can also reach me on Facebook at Bashawn Brown. And once you're on Facebook, you can link up to the Trap House page and see what we got going on at the Trap House. We have a website coming soon, and we're gonna have some more information to put out there pretty soon. You know, and other than that, they could get at you to get at me, right?
Hey, all day, every day, for sure.
You know, I want to say one thing, man. Love is the thing that sustains all things, right? Love is gravity, right? So it keeps everything in line, right? So if you have love, then you know you have life, right? So on that note, thank you for having me on your show. I appreciate you. I love you, brother. I love what you're doing. And, you know, I'm definitely betting on you. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll come out there and enjoy some of that Cali sun with you.
Yo, that'll be more than welcome. And you'll be able to stay at my place because when you do that, I will be having my own situation for sure. Right. To be able to invite brothers such as yourself and all those that I love into. And this human experience has been and I just want to say thank you, good brother, for being an example to the world that you do not have to be your circumstances. And like just to share, tomorrow I have a speech to give to a bunch of teens in Watts, and it is no coincidence, good brother, that I was able to have this conversation with you, and get that light and get that love that you have expressed, and the way that you have overcome your situation in that manner. I am for sure taking that into my experience and giving that into those youth, to those teens tomorrow when I speak with them. And and I just thank you for being the man that you are. Continue striving, continue evolving, continue being the dynamism and the powerhouse and the ball of energy that you are and that you always have been. And the world is a better place because you in it, good brother.
Hey man, I appreciate it.
For sure, for sure. So so peace, love, blessings. Continue trapping. Continue trapping. Yo, that shit, yo, it's kind of crazy, right? Because it's funny how things really do come together, bro, because I was literally over this whole weekend, I was thinking about the trap. I was like, why do they call it I know why they call it the trap, but it was like, why is this such a thing that that people keep expressing so much? You know, you always hearing it in every song now. You know, I'm up in the trap, my trap house, right? And I'm like, yo, if we know that it's a trap, why do we keep being the mouses that want to be in the trap and trying to get the cheese from that trap, you know? Right. And so I love the fact that, what's the acronym for Trap House again?
Transforming, reinventing, and prospering. We call it the new hustle. Hashtag new hustle.
Hashtag new hustle. That's what I'm talking about, bro, because we do have to hustle in a new way. And because please don't think that is the only way out. There is so much more to the world once you are open to the choices, the abundant choices that you have readily available for you in this world. All you have to do is continue to apply yourself and be yourself. And you do have something to offer the world. And so with that being said, you know, to the rest of the world, continue living your human experience, continue in knowing that you do have something to offer and that somebody needs that something that you have to offer in this world. And so that alone should have you show up being the best you that you could possibly be at all times. Even in the bad, there's still the best you that you can be. And so, so thank you all for joining us this week on The Human Experience. Thank you for bearing with us through the technical difficulties that we were able to experience. And I should say, not even but, and you were still able to get the gems and the jewels and feel the expression because we are on a mission. And nothing will we allow to get in our way. You know, it's only circumstances that are available. And through every circumstance, we are able to take a stance for whatever it is that we are committed to in our hearts. And so that is why, no matter what was going on, I was committed to being able to bring you, the audience, the world, a human experience and allow somebody to express the compassion that they have residing within them. And that is what I am committed to. So regardless of whatever's going on in my life, in the technological realm, I'm gonna make sure I get you that expression, that compassionate expression. And not compassion from a place of pity, but compassion from a place of empathy, so that you can get the gems and the jewels and know that everybody has something to offer. So with that being said, thank you all for taking your time out to join us today on this human experience. We'll be back next week. For show. Yeah. And so peace, blessings, love, be peaceful, be happy, be dynamic, and be you. Deuces.
Peace, good brother.
Peace.